copies of that. Do we have copies of that for agents?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Way in the back.
Between we have happening on the side, that's with me too. Like it's a peachy pinky sort of moment, so.
Love it.
And you got a little
Twinning.
hat, kind of, I don't know. We can make it work. All right, y'all know there's a lost and found.
Yes.
Right. You know where to go to find what you've lost. Or what other people have lost, and their lost is your game. Y'all know there's a content room. Yeah. Who's gonna be the first to use the content room? They talk about anything.
Absolutely not.
I wish that you were as comfortable in front of the camera as you are behind the camera. We've got more of the peachy pink going on. I was just talking about the fact we've got kind of like a
I didn't get the memo.
twin thing
Not
going on,
bad,
but
yeah.
you still did it.
Collective consciousness.
All right, Jake, so then it's up to you. You've got to use the content room.
I used it to make calls and then I realized that's not the thing. I know. I left.
And so lots of spaces to make calls, but I want to see a video coming from you into the content room or a podcast. You could record just a video from me. Everyone has the link tree? All right. This is like a very confrontational team meeting when there's not that many people.
Are you doing it? You going here?
All right, so September calendars are available to be picked up. Be sure that you put all of the dates in your calendar so that you don't miss out on anything. And then remember that on Linktree, this calendar does get updated live. So occasionally we'll have a change of things after these have been printed. For instance, we've got this Friday, Laura Gee is probably on the printed calendar for Shadow Top Agent, but it's actually going to be Jordan McQueen. If you're wanting to see the most recent calendar, Linktree is the best place to go. I am of the age that I have to have paper in my life, so I will always have the paper calendar as well. And then Morning Momentum is, we'll get to that in the slides, but something that I want to make sure to highlight on the calendar that is going to be every day. And we'll talk about that a little bit. Team meetings this month. So today we have creating digital connection. Next week, we have the one, the only, the fabulous Lori Gee talking about her open house strategies. Now, last week, I talked about this a little bit. I was holding off on committing to go all in with a focus on open houses, focus on open house training, because with the NAR settlement, it was a little unclear in the days, weeks, months leading up to things moving forward on the 17th. It was a little unclear if we would still be able to use open houses as we previously have as a lead generation technique. There was some concern about restrictions around that. I believe everyone is clear that the dust has settled, the final word is out, and open houses have remained protected and are an incredible source for lead generation. So given that, given how all of that happened, this I think is actually going to be a more powerful source than ever before for you to go shopping for buyers. And so, so if you are not already working with open houses at a high level, I would definitely suggest looking at that. And there is nobody who is better to train on that, in my opinion, than Lori Gee. Lori is phenomenal with creating an event with her open houses, driving people to be there, creating a lot of awareness around them, and then figuring out how to make those connections and convert at the events. So I'm very grateful that she is willing to share that knowledge with us. So next week, she will be the star of team meeting. The following week, we have our awards and market update, and so you'll have a chance to learn from those agents that had a very successful August and find out what worked for them. And then the last team meeting of the month is going to be focused on work-life synergy. I believe that work-life balance is a myth and that people drive themselves crazy attempting to achieve something that doesn't actually exist. I also believe that work-life balance can be a great scapegoat when you are wanting to hide out at work and not handle things that need to be handled in your life, or are wanting to get away from work and go have a life. But it gets used, abused, misused in that way. And so we'll be talking about what work-life synergy actually looks like, achieving success in all areas of your life. What I know is if you're not achieving success in all areas of your life, eventually one is going to creep into the other and take it down. And then looking at, as part of that, stress management and how to continue striving towards your goals in your business without burning yourself out to where you have to say, you know, I just really need to get more work-life balance, which is code for I really need to take a nap. I'm exhausted and ready to cry. So that will be our final team meeting
Did you
of the
say,
month.
and ready to cry? Okay.
Might
Just wanted to make sure.
just be me, but. Tech Bar training. So we have the one, the only, the fabulous Kimber Walton here with us for Tech Bars this month. So she will be here on the 4th. And then also, I don't have it in my notes, but we'll add it to the slide. I believe it's the 25th for Tech Bar. And then the 25th, the 4th and the 25th, Kimber will be here for Tech Bar 10:30 to 11:30. She will also be doing a lunch and learn after team meeting on the 10th. Some of you have asked about updated websites and the consumer experience training. I'm looking at you, Kenneth, because you asked me about it. That is going to be on the 10th. So the 10th from 12:30 to 1:30. Kimber will be teaching on the website and consumer experience. The 4th and the 25th, she is here for Tech Bar. That is very agent directed. So bring your questions, bring your projects, bring your laptop, and you can leave Tech Bar with those completed. We also are very excited to announce that we will have our very own Jess Mills back in the Market Center next week. So 6 weeks have flown. I have done the math forwards and backwards because Amy and I were sure that she was trying to shortchange herself a week of maternity there, but she was not. It will have actually been 6 weeks. So she will be available remote and by phone starting Monday. That's Monday the 9th. And then she will be back in the Market Center. We'll get to see her beautiful smiling face here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Moving forward.
Is that Tech Bar that she's doing on the 10th, like over team meeting?
The 10th is after, so the 10th
is
isn't Tech Bar. 10th is the actual training, and the time's got wrong on that slide, so we'll fix it.
okay.
The 10th is a lunch and learn right after team meeting. So ignore the slide. I'm gonna move forward. You can't even see the slide. It doesn't exist.
Right.
The 10th, it's going to be a lunch and learn. That's the website focus, and that is 12:30 to 1:30. The 4th and the 25th, that is Tech Bar, and that will be 10:30 to 11:30. And then if you are a capper, if you are currently capped or you have capped in the last year, you are invited to the Capper Mastermind. If that describes you and you did not get an email from me inviting you to this Capper Mastermind, please see me after team meeting because we are trying to make sure we've got our Capper list up to date. And I just feel like we're maybe missing some people. So if you didn't get this invitation and you are a capper, please see me so that we can check. Even if you're not going to be able to make it to this mastermind, please see me so that we can make sure that we've got updated information. And then if you are a capper, please prioritize making it to this mastermind. This will be facilitated by Justin Hurd. It will be at the South Valley office. Justin is a top 500 agent, a wealth of knowledge in real estate and prospecting and investment and wealth building and all sorts of great things. So, be there or be square. And then this Friday, we have Jordan McLean taking Lori's place. Lori is going to go spend some time with her cute grandbaby in Southern Utah. So Jordan graciously accepted her request that he step up and be that top agent for you to shadow. Jordan is consistently in our top 5 agents in the market center. My favorite thing about Jordan, I think you all know, is that he's an incredible baker and he does confections and connections. That doesn't so much apply to this, but is a fun fact. My second favorite thing is that when on a listing panel, the panelists were asked, let's say you were dropped into a market where you had no sphere of influence, you knew nobody, and you had gun to your head 1 week, you had to take a listing. What would you do? And I loved the variety of answers that came from agents, and there was a lot of really great insights that came out of that. Jordan's was he would go find a pickleball court. And so attend the top agent shadowing and maybe ask Jordan afterwards how he would leverage pickleball to turn into a listing, because as I heard his strategy on it, I'd go ahead and put money on the fact that he'd be able to get a listing to his head in a week if that was his focus. First Friday, on Friday, after our mastermind, after you're shadowing a top agent, after working with your incredible broker, we are hosting the Utah Black Chamber of Commerce First Friday event. So this is an event that the Utah Black Chamber of Commerce puts on monthly. They are hosted at various businesses around the valley. It's an opportunity for business owners to network and learn from one another and build connections. It is $10 for members of the chamber, $20 if you're not a member of the chamber, and a great opportunity to support Black-owned businesses in our area. So that's Friday from 6 to 9 here at the Market Center. And you can buy tickets directly through the Utah Black Chamber of Commerce. We've got the QR code for that. And then Joel Frost, you'll know that he's running for county assessor. I don't have to do my soapbox speech about why we should all vote for Joel Frost for county assessor. We're on the same page. On the 9th, he is doing a realtor only event. That will be here at the Market Center. It will be from 5:30 until 7. Please attend, support, and also invite your friends in the real estate industry that are not necessarily part of our Market Center. We are all the beneficiaries of having realtors, especially really great, active, intelligent realtors in leadership positions and in government positions. And so I would love to get some support for Joel from the real estate community. The Ignite training camp schedule is out. So this is going to be next week, right? Yes, the 9th through the 13th. So you've got 9 to 10 is Spark Your Career on Monday. 10 to 11:30 is your tech orientation and grow your database with Kimber. So if you don't feel like you have a clear understanding of KW Tech or your database in place, then please, Monday at 10, be here to learn from Kimber. On Tuesday, there's negotiations with Tamara Reaper from 9 to 10. 10 to 11:30 is Price to Sell, the CMAs with Kenya and Landon. That is a realtor and appraiser duo that teaches that class. And then 11 to 12 is lead follow-up with Terry Scheitauer. On Wednesday, we've got Win the Buyer with Clint Allred, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, write and receive offers with your very 11 to 12 is lead follow-up with Terry Scheitauer. Thursday is lead generation with Heather Wood. 10 to 11 is networking, focus on communities with Robin Buckwalter. I like that they gave her an extra N instead of just taking away my N. 11 to 12 is Win the Seller with Mike Walters, who runs the Stern team. And then Friday the 13th, that's Friday the 13th, 9 to 10, we've got Contracts to Close with Corey Miner. Yes, he is related to Michelle Miner. 10 to 11 is Lending Basics with B Money. And then 11 to 12 is Open Houses with Claire Gunn. So if any of those topics are something that you are focused on in your business, make sure that you grab a shot of this calendar or grab a copy of the calendar from Isaiah in the back and make sure that you attend that Ignite training. Again, you do not have to attend all of Ignite in order to attend one of those sessions. And if you haven't attended all of Ignite for a while, this could be a good time to brush up on those skills. Our mastery training for the month will be a panel of listing agents on the 17th. This will be 12:30 to 2, and they're going to be focused on listing management. When we get to the part of the meeting where we go through the glance at a market, we're going to have a conversation about absorption rate, about days on market. The Cliff Notes version of that is listings are sitting on the market a little bit longer. And especially for agents who got into the industry when things were moving lightning fast, this may be the first time that you've taken a listing and had to continue to have a conversation with the seller over the period of several weeks, possibly even months. And so this is a skill. Fortunately, it is a skill that we have a lot of agents that have mastered it because this isn't their first rodeo and they have worked with listing management. And so they will be sharing how they have proactive conversations with their sellers. In the absence of information, people tend to assume the worst. And so unfortunately, I think sometimes when we are managing our listings, if there is no news and we are just going through and doing the things that we do to get the listing sold, it can be very easy to not feel like it makes sense to call the seller and say, hey, Lindsay, just calling to make sure you know your house hasn't sold yet. And so there is a more elegant way to have that conversation because the alternative is I just don't call Lindsay and then she has all of this space and all of this time to assume the worst and to decide that nothing is actually happening to get her home sold. And she chose the wrong agent and she chose the wrong time on the market and she chose the wrong house initially and it's never going to sell. And
Scott Sternberg, it's all your fault.
yes, so don't let your people spin out because then when I call Lindsay to actually share information, there has been this whole conversation that has been happening without me for however long it's been since we talked. And she answers the phone at a powder keg level and I am scrambling trying to figure out why she's so upset. And all of that can be avoided by proactive communication. So these top listing agents are going to go through their cadence of communication, how they set up expectations, what they are communicating when there isn't an update and when there isn't an update and there isn't even a change to be made. Sometimes I think those are the toughest conversations when it's not even time to make a price reduction. It's just time to hold tight. How do they have that conversation? How do they have the conversation when it is time to make a price reduction? And then what are they doing to actually actively market their properties so that they're not just calling and saying, hey, we've got major marketing efforts going on. They actually do have major marketing efforts going on. So that will be the 17th from 12:30 until 2 after team meeting, right? Yes, right after team meeting. So grab lunch, come back in and learn from top listing agents.
Lori, can we get that swimming pool added to our office?
I think so, yeah, I think that's
Little
important.
infinity balcony.
Yeah. I'll work with the powers that be and find out how many listings we need to be consistently taking and closings we need to have in a swimming pool.
Okay.
I'm on it. All right, KW Luxury, they are coming to Park City. This is the luxury speaker series. This is a series that for luxury pro agents, they go to a different market every single month to tour property that is at the luxury price so that they have a clear understanding nationally of what luxury properties look like, to learn from the head of the luxury division and to mastermind and network with one another. So for those of you that are in the luxury division, Luxury Pro might be something that you want to consider so that you can be a part of that. For absolutely everyone, when the Luxury Pro series comes to our town, you've got the opportunity to attend and be involved. So tickets are $150. They do include lunch. Brady Sandall and Carolyn Ho, who teach this series, two of the best presenters I've ever seen in the real estate space in general, not just KW. And then the agents that are coming into town for this are some major hitters. So a really great networking opportunity. This will be at the Pendry in Park City. The link has gone out in email a couple of times to register for this. I'm guessing it's probably on the link tree. And if you can't find out either of those places and want to attend, let me know and we'll get that over to you. Kuwahara. Nick, can you think of anything that Lisa would want us to be saying about Kuwahara?
Show up.
Show up, that's a good one, I like it. So this is our fall client appreciation event. It is the 26th, it will be from 5:30 until 9 p.m. We have all sorts of resources for you to invite your SOI clients and database, follow-up strategies, dialogues and conversations, collateral that you can send out. So if you are planning on inviting people or want to invite people and just don't even know where to start, see Isaiah, he can help connect you with those resources. Again, this is such a huge opportunity to leverage the work that our ALC and that Lisa, as head of this committee especially, puts together or puts in to put these events together. Client appreciation events can be a huge undertaking, and we have the opportunity to just pretty much show up and get the benefits. So take advantage of that, take that benefit. All right, Lindsay, anything in particular you want to say about contracts in the month of September?
Yeah, so I'm out of town on the 6th, so there's that.
Okay, so Lindsay's out of town on the 6th. Who wants to teach contracts? We'll figure that out. We'll have a Lindsay replacement, and then you can tell her when she gets back if they were as good or not.
As far as everything else, I'm finding that our agents are a step ahead of what is out there in the public right now and are actually being forced to educate some other agents. So way to go. Glad we got ahead of all of this so that we were more than prepared when it rolled out. Because yes, I'm getting a lot of that information. So way to teach everybody else.
Thank you for who you are and all that you do. Any comments on what you're seeing with contracts, the changes? Easier than you thought, harder than you thought?
I think it's a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be.
So Flavia thought it was gonna be harder than it is.
Yeah.
What,
I was thinking this for quite some time, and then as you start to get into it, it doesn't seem to be. And it is different, I agree, there's a learning curve, but it's not as critical in the sense of we're all gonna die, right?
I think you just pounded it in your heads for so long, you're just like, what's the big deal?
I am appreciating the fact that education part, right? And when I have to be more patient with other agents too, because sometimes I tell them, well, no, this is kind of redundant, or not necessary, or this is best practice. Like, well, no, this is the way. And I'm like, talk to your broker, that's what my broker said to do. I'm like, oh, great. So, it gets a little tricky there. But I've noticed that as we're more patient with agents, where I have these conversations, it feels like everybody is from a couple of agents that I've talked to in there for offers or on whichever side of the transaction we're on. It feels like we're, I think, a little bit more united than we were before. So I kind of like that part. I think it's survivable. It really is.
Yeah, you know, nothing like an industry shakeup like this to remind us that we are all in it together, and that you being the best agent possible makes it easier for Kathy to be the best agent possible, makes it easier for Kennedy to be the best agent possible, and really protects our industry altogether.
I will say that
Go ahead.
I have, when we're getting offers, I see, and this is something that I really appreciate. The agents are requesting 3% commission. They're not requesting 2.5%. They're not afraid of requesting the 3%. So I think we can all kind of rally around that. And I mean, not come back at 3%, but at least they're submitting the 3%. I feel like that's very good.
And that's something that is good information to be able to turn around and share with your sellers. And if you are participating in the role play conversations, this week we are focused on seller commission conversations. But one of those conversations talks about the value in using a seller's willingness to be able to contribute towards the compensation as a marketing tool. And to be able to say, this is negotiable and you don't have to make a decision until you're looking at an offer. And I can tell you that the last 10 offers I've reviewed have included a 3% commission request. And so if we are going to be paying a commission, if you are going to contribute towards the commission for the buyers, it makes sense to be able to use that as a marketing tool as well, rather than to lose out on that opportunity. But that gives you that information, that ability to share that. If you aren't in the place where you have a listing inventory, you haven't personally seen those 10 offers come through with asking for 3%, talk to Flavio, talk to the realtor, talk to some people who are taking more listings and ask them, what are you seeing on these commissions? So that then when you have a conversation with sellers, you can say, I've been talking to some of the other top agents in my office and this is what we're all seeing. And it allows you to then use one another's experience.
I'll share one last thing.
Yeah.
So on 2 of my listings, they obviously smart people, they're like, I don't have to pay a commission anymore. Have that conversation. Fast forward to how much they're agreeing to pay out. One of them is at 2.5%. That's what she, like, I feel comfortable with this. That's fine. Move on. And so we got an offer and now she's paying a 3% commission because the offer came in just fine. And it was fairly easy conversation with that seller. Once I got an offer showing that 3% request from the buyer's agent, and we agreed to pay them that 3%. Because she sees the benefit of finally getting an offer, you know?
Right.
And then keeping that agent also engaged and invested in making sure that that transaction works to the best of their ability. The other point was, oh yeah, so then I had another seller, like, oh, I don't want to pay a commission. It's gonna be tough for me. In conversation negotiations, she agreed to, I'll do 2%, but nothing more. Well, because now they're paying 2.5%, not 3%. But regardless, the conversations that I have with the agents are, hey, this is my conversation that I've had with my seller. That's 2%, 2.5%. But if you feel like you need to submit a 3%, I encourage you. I'm happy to talk to my sellers about this. If anything, it gives me an opportunity to reinforce to my seller that whatever ideas, whatever best practice they got from their neighbor for whatever reason, right? It's not necessarily realistic, and I hope it stays that way. I hope it stays where everybody's working together on this whole industry. I can see this actually playing in our favor more than it used to. That's what I'm getting at. So,
Yeah. I agree. And it's, I think it's good to remind sellers that unless you're signing that brokerage compensation agreement, they're not committing to what they are going to pay in compensation to cover the buyer's agency. They're agreeing to what they're going to market. Just like the listing price is not agreeing to what they're going to get, that's what's going to be marketed. And I think that what you're all going to experience with clients is very much the same as what Flavio just said, which is that I suspect there's a whole lot of clients that are going to start out saying, no, I absolutely don't want to pay a commission. That when push comes to shove and they get the offer and they're looking at actual tangible numbers, are going to say, yeah, I'm fine paying this commission, or this is my bottom line, I don't want to pay any more than that. But when we're talking about an actual offer and we're talking about an actual net to them, they may look at it and go, oh, well, yeah, 2.5 is just fine.
Well, it's just amazing how much more influential it is when it's sitting in front of them in writing on paper. We get so worked up about these conversations verbally. What are we gonna say if our seller says this or doesn't want to do this or this? But when it's presented in an offer in front of them, it just makes it that much more powerful. And they'll typically go for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would never suggest that you, before even taking the listing, prepare the seller for what they're going to want to cover in repairs, when you get to the repairs of that. Because that's like 3 or 4 steps down the road, and they have $0 in hand, or even in like close proximity to being in hand at that point. And I find that people are a lot less willing to agree to anything or see the value in it. Whereas once you get all the way down to due diligence, and they've got a tangible offer, and they've got a date in mind, and everything's coming together, then that repairs request doesn't feel like a big deal. Whereas if you talked about it back here, that could feel like a huge deal. So knowing when to have the conversations, and not taking people too seriously when they tell you, I would never do this, or I will only do that. Because I'm sure they believe it when they say
I
it.
just want to ask Steph, have you seen anything on the title side with all of the new changes that has come across your desk that's been something where you've had to be the middle person, or
Not yet.
in regards to commissions or anything like that?
We've got one coming up. It's supposed to close tomorrow, and we're going back and forth right now with the agent on 0.5%. So we're still trying to find out where it is in writing. When I left, that the buyer was paying that extra 0.5%. Lender sent over addendum 3, which talks nothing of commissions and who's paying what. And the seller pays, and if those could cover commissions, so I'll let you know,
Okay,
but it's hot off the press,
Yeah,
just trying to figure that out right
curious,
now.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Close
all still
tomorrow?
very fresh, cause
Uh,
I think people are like, well, yeah, they agreed to pay it, but where? So that's what we're looking for, is the where it's officially official.
got it.
And where should officially official it have been?
Can't find-
One of the few places, where's the brokerage payment addendum, where's the escrow instructions, where's?
So.
So yeah, in hearing about this situation that Steph is looking at right now, that's the reason to make sure you are really clear. How are these things being accounted for in the contract, in the paperwork? Are all parties that need to get all copies of that?
And I would
Did
think
he
you would
not?
need to let, something that's been coming up a lot too is transaction fees. Transaction fees on top of, and it's typically that 0.5%, right? Because most are willing to pay the 2.5. And so it's that 0.5% that we keep talking about, plus transaction fees. And so lenders need to know these things when they're disclosing. So I mean, I think it's really important that agents be having really good firm conversations with the lenders and looking at those loan estimates and making sure that those fees are on there. And then we know them too, so we can make sure before we get to a day before closing and saying, wait, you're short transaction fee and 0.5% on your disclosure. So that's just would be my advice, just
Yeah.
working with the lender.
And transaction fees, we talked about this at the broker workshop on Friday. Those do need to be outlined on your buyer broker agreement, or that would be additional compensation that you cannot collect from anybody because it's not on your buyer broker agreement. So make sure if you're collecting a transaction fee that you are listing your percentage and your transaction fee on there. And yes, wherever you're negotiating for that, if there's an expectation that the seller is contributing towards that, it would need to be listed as well.
So this morning I got a call from one of our agents. She's listing a home. She got an offer. And the agent filled out in the new section of the rep C 4.3. You know, there's 2 blanks. There's one for percentage and there's one for a dollar amount. This agent put 2.5 in both of those blanks and didn't check any boxes. So I just said, well, do them a huge favor and reply on a brokerage payment addendum that seller will pay no more than 2.5% of the purchase price, just to clarify it. So if you're seeing that, you know, just make sure there's clarity in that and not just a verbal conversation. Please put it in an addendum and make it official so that there's just no question marks.
So on that one, because she put it twice, it's like she gets paid twice then?
But it didn't check any boxes, so technically, if you don't check any boxes, you're not getting paid anything. So our agent was kind enough to say, how about we do this?
So
Yeah.
there's a place we're supposed to check a box
Yeah.
in that addendum
Yeah.
too.
Because it does say one or the other, it's not like in
Yeah.
the list of agreement says and, or the transaction fee in the percentage, right? On the rep sheet says one
Either
or
or.
the other,
Right.
and I got an offer to where the agent actually filled out 3%. and $12,000 on the other one. And then check the 12, actually, sorry, $9,000. But then the offer was a low offer. And then when we check this one, it's beautiful that, it's beautiful that you put both information in there. It's confusing. It's not necessarily redundant, it's confusing. But I got the message because it says, or, and check this one, we countered a much higher offer, and then the buyer accepted, seller had already countered and checked it. And so you're still getting paid 3% based on the low offer. It's only a couple $100 difference, but in that example, right? It's like, yeah, you can fill out whatever you want, but if you don't check that box.
Right.
All right, learn more about this and more every Friday with our broker, except for this Friday where it will be a replacement broker. Totally.
I was fortunate to attend the Friday thing and wow, there is so many details. And Robin suggested every day fill out one of these. And yes, I promised to do it. Did I do it? No. Do I know about these check marks? No. Could it cost me $2,500 to $5,000 real easily? Or headaches the night before? Absolutely. So how many people here have filled out a sample of the new contracts or did a real contract?
Our coaching, they make.
Lindsay will talk to us.
And it's true. One of the things that we talk to new agents about, is filling out a rep C every single day. Explaining the rep C out loud with your voice, using your outside voice to explain what each section says. So that when you are across from an actual client, this is not your first time.
What's that
explaining your
say?
rep C. Yeah, so that they're not saying, well, what does this section, in section 20, what does that mean? And you're going, I don't actually know. Let me talk to my broker and I'll get back to you. Or worse, trying to come up with what it means when you really have no idea. So, so that's something that we strongly suggest to all new agents. It's how I learned the contract and built confidence. And it made a huge difference that then when I was sitting across from my first buyer, I was actually excited to be explaining the contract. When I was putting together their contract, I was actually excited to put it together because I had gone through this so many times for pretend that it was fun to be doing it for real, not terrifying because this was my first time looking at the contract since I had passed the test. We are in a unique position right now where I feel like we are all new agents when it comes to this paperwork. And we are doing our clients and ourselves a disservice if we are not so comfortable with the new paperwork that we can fill it out without really even having to think about it, that we could turn it around and explain it without having to look at it and remember which section that compensation is listed in. And so the very best way to learn that is to fill it out every single day. And so Tony, I'm looking at you. Run it to you. Morning momentum. So this is every morning from 8:45 until 9. Thank you to those of you who joined me this morning. We talked about the fact that the past is for learning and the future is for winning. And I sent my cliff notes out on that after the call. So check your email for that. I will not always be sending a synopsis of what we talked about on that call. But because there were some tangible action steps. And I know that not everybody was in the place to take notes or had had their coffee, so was even in the place to process that information completely. I shared that. Would love to have all of you on these calls with us. Turn your camera off. This is a low pressure. We are not expecting you to be in front of your computer and ready and raring to go. I understand this is during drop off time for a lot of parents. This is when you are walking your dog, finishing your coffee, in the car, zooming to your first appointment, and that is all great. This is just intended as a time for us to build some synergy and give you a chance to get your mindset right, build some leadership skills and lessons. And then we will have some guest presenters that I am really excited about. I've got a couple of college football coaches that have already committed to doing a morning momentum when they get through this part of their season. We've got some agents and brokers and team leaders from around the country that have said, yeah, this would be really fun to hop on and talk to your agents. So I want to build a little momentum with our morning momentum call before I have these big hitters on there. So please add this to your schedule, add this to your routine. You should all have received a calendar invite. So if you just accept that, the Zoom link will be right on your calendar, easy to click on and join us in the morning. And then from 9 to 9:15, there is an optional role play. Today, we just ran through the conversations and dialogues we're going to have during the week. Starting tomorrow, we'll still do a run through of those so that you can hear them once. And then anyone who wants to stay on and practice their hand at role playing those conversations can. We'll put you into pairs and give you the opportunity to do that. Here's my plea for role playing. I know it can be scary. I know that it can feel like you're gonna look a certain way because you're going through a conversation that you're not comfortable with yet. And so that can be intimidating. You're going to be on a call with other people that are feeling that exact same way. And I promise you, if you trip up your words and don't have the smoothest role play, they are going to actually be relieved because they were sitting there barely even listening to you because they were freaking out about the fact that they have to go next and they're sure that they're going to trip up their words and it's not going to be smooth. So nobody that is on this call is going to buy or sell a house with you. They are all licensed agents. They have representation already figured out. This is a low risk conversation and a chance to practice saying these words to somebody who is a low risk conversation. So that again, the first time you're trying this out is not when you are sitting across from a potential seller. So take advantage of that. Take a deep breath and get through the fear of that and really leverage this for what is available for you there. Show up and glow up. So we have been talking as a leadership team about the fact that we want to see more of you here in the office. And then we've also been talking about agents that are at the place in their career that they are not yet ready to rent an office space, excuse me, but would be more likely to come in if they had a dedicated spot that they knew was theirs, that they could keep their stuff and that they could come in and work. So we are currently running a show up and glow up program. So show up to the market center 5 days a week for 5 hours a day for three weeks in a row. You have to check in with Isaiah, it's the rules, so that he can track that you are actually here. And you show up for the 3 weeks, 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, and then for the next 90 days, you will have a dedicated desk in our open desk area that is all yours for use. No rental fee necessary. It's got a locking drawer. You could put push pins in it and put up your pictures. There's mountain views. Y'all, the first cubicle I worked from, I think there was one wonky light that like flashed over it. And it was in a basement and there was a leak and I'm pretty sure that there was like mold and mildew, like it was miserable. But I was paying my dues. I was in my cubicle. Our cubicles have freaking mountain views. Our cubicles have like $1 million mountain views. Do this and take advantage of it. Then once a quarter, we will be drawing from everybody who has qualified for a desk. And they will get use of a private office for 90 days for completely free. So if this gives you some incentive to show up and blow up your business, we would love to see you more often. See Isaiah for any other details and to check in and let him know that you are here. If it's a week that only has 4 days, like this week, there'll just be a day tagged on at the end. So no big deal. You're not expected to be here when it's a holiday and we are closed. We will not be here. Coming soon. Who has listings coming soon that they're excited to share about? Yeah. For real, for real? Okay, Tony's saving you. Tony, what have you got?
Got a 5-bedroom, 2-bath Rambler, West Valley, a block and a half from the Maverick Center. All updated, new carpet, big corner lot, 525,000 will be on the market in the next 2 weeks. Possibility of seller finance. There is an assumable FHA loan underneath at 140,000. Somebody that can figure out how to take advantage of that could easily be worth 50,000 to their client over time.
Thank you. I have a listing coming up. Sparse on details. I'm meeting with them today, so I'll let you know next week. But it is a condo in Holiday by the old Cotwood Mall. I am thinking it will be around 300,000. I'll let you know. I see it next week, and we'll go on market in the next 2 weeks. All right, I am not going to rush anyone too terribly because we had 16 listings taken last week. So well done. Congratulations to Dana Conway, Yadi Vasquez, Joe Reardon, Mike Heslop, Chris Harper, Joel Frost, Ashley Lindsay, Lori Gee, and Cameron Burnside. Keeping everyone out of trouble. All right, market at a glance. So you should all have 2 market at a glances. For those of you that are here in person, one is black and white, one is in color. What, right?
Yes.
Okay. The black and white market at a glance is our market at a glance from June 11th, 2024. The market at a glance in color is August 20th, 2024. So we have talked about the power of this being in the comparison. We're going to take just 5 minutes and pair up with somebody who is nearby you. And if we don't have an even number, somebody be a triad. And take a few minutes to just go through and see what are the changes in the market that you see between June and August.
Let's do a triad.
Yeah. I don't know how to read this, so you teach me.
Well, it's the first time I saw it, but if you go to the first is in August. It's
Yeah.
Everything you sold will be gone in basically 2 months. Now you go to the next case, 500,000. That's 0.31. So 0.3. Okay.
Yeah. So.
1.9. Now we go.
And that was in June. Okay.
no other.
So it's while. Three or 30 days. That's, so they gotta make a whole mortgage payment. It's easily $1,000. On average, I think. Now let's look in a little.
Jumps around.
Let's go to $1 million. $1 million.
Yeah. And these guys really get pretty intense.
And 3.1, so that's.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of activity.
There was no.
So, different markets and different things. What I think that's saying
Midsection environment. That's not that.
is the people with money can make it. People that are just barely qualified. They're having a tougher time clearing their triggers. And I do believe, but that is, let's go with 1.5 million. 1.5 million, 4.86, 1.5 million, 4.0, so even in the higher places.
Funny to see like we're like
Yeah.
still consistent and then like.
The other way that I would look at this, let's just go total listings on the 500,000, 96. Total listings in August, 501. So not a big change there.
Right.
What are you looking at? Total. Total listing. Oh, maybe I did under 312. And then the next page.
Let's take about 1 minute to wrap this up.
That's actually 25% increase, 100%.
The other page.
Supposedly. Yeah.
Right, are you on it?
So with the ones that are on the market, those are on the.
That's 316, right?
Yeah. Well.
So that increase.
348, are you on? I can't remember the number. Yeah, great. Yeah.
348, 405, a lot more listings than on the market there. We go down to the $1 million mark, million.
All right, wrap up your last thought.
Change there.
Lot more middle of the range and on the market, which is, it's gonna feel like there's.
All right, so lightning round, what did you notice in looking through this? Looking at the comparisons, what did you notice? James, been volunteering.
In the luxury price range of between like 1 to like 1.3 million. There's still a similar amount of active listings that as there was then, but not as many that are going under contract, so that kind of sitting.
So a similar number of active listings in the 1 to 1.3 million price range, but fewer going under contract. So how might you use that data if you are talking to a potential seller who's in that 1 to 1.3 price point?
Just to prepare them, to let them know that their listing might sit there for a lot longer and that it's just normal at this time. And just not to get freaked out about it.
Yeah, so two sides with this. One is preparing expectation. And so one is saying, you know, in early summer, this is what we were seeing with traction in your price range. Now that we're moving into the fall, we're seeing the same number of homes that are going on the market, but we're seeing fewer go under contract. And so this is going to mean the properties are going to be on the market longer. And that's to be expected. That's not something that will catch us off guard. And the other side of that, outside of preparation, is strategy. And so if you're meeting with a seller in the 1 to 1.3 million price point, and you know that they have a tight deadline and need to get sold, faster than what we're seeing is here, then that maybe pushes the conversation of if we are going to beat the market, we know that this is what the market is for your home's price point right now. If we are going to beat the market, we're going to have to make some strategic decisions on pricing in order to do that. Okay, let's get two more. What else are you seeing in this? Tony,
So if you just look at the number of new listings coming on, you'll actually see that there's more new listings coming on the market. More supply probably will mean that average days on market goes longer, there's more to pick from. And it might be just a sign that we're going into that fall. No, everyone's in school, so it actually could be pretty significant that we got, let's say 15-20% more listings on the market. And if you look at where we were in the spring versus now, like 5,000 on the market to over 10,000 on the market, that's a big shift from a seller's market to maybe a balanced market, but it's not gonna feel balanced.
right, it never feels balanced, it never feels balanced. And that, it occurs to me, is a great conversation to be having with any potential buyers that maybe you talked to several months ago. They were on the fence, they chose not to move forward, to say, you know, hey, Kim, I know we talked a few months ago and, that a new home is maybe somewhere in your 5-year plan, but you just weren't sure if you were ready to move forward. I look at the market stats every week, and something that I've noticed as far as a trend is that we're seeing significantly more homes coming onto the market. The biggest complaint I was hearing from my buyers 2, 3, 4 months ago is that there just wasn't inventory. There weren't options for them to look at that made it such that they were excited about making this move. Now that we're seeing more homes come on market and we've seen interest rates go down, does it make sense for us to explore this? So this is a great like reignite conversation to have with potential buyers in talking about that increased inventory. When you're looking at these stats, you want to look at who do they matter to and why. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of information. No one wants you to throw up a bunch of information at them. But if you look at, okay, if there's more listings coming on the market, who does that matter to and why? If this price point is taking longer to sell, who does that matter to and why? If we're seeing a real strong difference, you know, if you've got 2 price points that are next to each other and there is a decided difference in absorption rate or the under contract rate in one price point than the other, who does that matter to and why? This should be a part of your strategy conversations that you are having. Check out the link tree. We are going to have 3 months. Is that right? Yeah. 3 months of these at a glance market reports there on the link tree available to you so that you can go through and be having these conversations with each other and with yourself and with your clients. And then if you've got questions on what you come across with that, let us know. I have built a plate for somewhere. I don't know where. Let's see. I'll figure out where I put that. 75 hard, do it, love it.
Oh.
Got questions, let us know.
Special shout out. I got an email from Jake over the weekend who sent me reports. It was amazing. It was perfectly broken down. Everything was tracked. He messaged me and Jordan, and it was perfectly tracked. So very good.
All right. And then today's lunch sponsor, we have Pro Media. I'll look for the clicker while you're doing that. Come on up. Just push that on the top when it turns green, you're on. Awesome.
Sweet, all right. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Hello, my name is Austin. I'm with ProMeet, one of the photographers and marketers. For those of you that have seen us coming before, this is a nice little refresher along with a little twist later on in the presentation. For those of us that have not seen us before, buckle up. Is there a clicker?
No, I don't know where it is, so if you just click, is it this that advances it?
Okay, I can use this little keyboard.
All right, let's see.
Aha, look at that. We are a company that has been in the industry for so we are a full service real estate media company. Anything that you think of, photos, video, drone, Matterport, 2D floor plans, anything that you can think of that you would ever need to market your listing or even yourself. We've been in the industry for 8 years, and in that 8 years, we've grown to a massive client list of over 500 agents and 5 photographers to help handle that load. I actually really like what you guys have been talking about a lot. It seems like a lot of these meetings are to help you guys be the best agents you can be, and we agree with that. That's why our job is to make sure that marketing is the last thing that holds you back from being the best agent you can be, and that marketing is the last thing that holds you back from winning your next best client. These are just some of the range of services that we offer. Like I said, we're full service. We do anything from photos, drone, Matterport. We also do lifestyle videos and also social media, virtual staging, and other things that you can possibly think of. And in these 8 years and all these services that we offer, we've always tried to pride ourselves on beautiful content, consistent quality, and unparalleled service. And when we kind of think about that, it's like, who here has worked with a photographer, maybe left the toilet up, trash can in a room, just something distracting that a seller is going to have issues just looking at these photos. Everyone's probably dealt with at least one photographer and stuff. The part of our service and everything like that is that we spend time to work with you to make sure the property is ready, that the photos can come out, the photos and all of the media we take for you that are top quality so that they can attract anybody, any and all that look at the property. Part of that is that we also do like a 15-minute little walkthrough through the home, make sure that trash cans are put away, toilet seats are put down, all lights are on, and just making sure that everything is consistent throughout the home. So enough of just about talking about it. Here's some of our examples of our work. This is quality that you can come to expect working with us at any shoot. All of our 5 photographers are trained to try to hold this standard, if not better. This is also what you can come to expect when looking at our videos.
Welcome to 4219 Aston Camp Luke in the Promontory neighborhood of Park City, Utah. This is a brand new home that just finished. Come on in and check it out.
Another really popular service that we added that people really like are what are our Instagram reels, or even the higher end ones known as we call them double Ryan Serhant reels, where basically we follow you through the home or just follow through the home in general. You don't have to be in it. But we've realized that the more people put themselves in front of the camera when they market their listings, especially on social media, the greater their feedback is from those that they are trying to reach. And on top of these, we've started a new service that I'm about to get into that we're really trying to push this year for people that have a social media presence or want to increase their current social media presence, but feel like that they're being held back by time, creativity, or even just being overwhelmed with just being a real estate agent. You know, you guys are 24/7, you guys are always on the call, you guys are busy. Oh, before that, this is our kind of one of our highlights of Keller Williams agents that we've worked with before.
Hi, I'm Julia Haverty, and this is my listing at 663 Hollywood Ave. Come on. The local designer Colby Kai designed this home with the use of recycled materials and clean wood throughout.
Oh yes, and we offer 3D tours. I forgot the slide came first. I kind of reorganized some things. I apologize. But we offer 3D tours with Matterport. We also have started doing Zillow 3D tours if you guys are into those. We also offer 3D, 2D floor plans, as well as just standard 2D floor plans. This is kind of the social media work that we talked about for those that already have or want to increase their social media presence that are already working on it. Just to have someone else kind of take the reins. We'll still work with you and still try to come up with content with you, but we kind of just take the filming and editing and all of that, and we can even help with those things needed. But not only do we just do these kind of short form videos where you can either sit down and we put in some fancy animations and fancy text in while you talk, like you've seen on TikTok and also Instagram at times. You can do anything from sitting down to outside to even just doing straight up lifestyle based videos. So this one is actually like really nice because sometimes people just want to talk about cool things that are happening in the area. So this agent was talking about Park City Mountain and the cool activities that you get to do up there. And actually his specific video was about having being able to accomplish a pretty good date in Park City for under $100, for $100 or less. So it's pretty cool content and we actually kind of help with that. Speaking of, with Teamwork Makes the Dream Work, we do strategy calls to help plan your content. So we'll sit down with you for about an hour before, like a week or two before your shoot, and we'll come up with ideas with you. We'll talk with you, we'll come to you with ideas that we've seen on social media that seem to be popular and find a way to make it fit your personal style. We also have scripting help available if that is the worst for you and you're trying to figure out what to say, we can help with that. We also tend to film 8 to 12 videos in a single 4-hour session. And yes, that seems like it may be a lot, but we pride ourselves in the fact that we can get 8 to 12 videos done in 4 hours. And also, like I said earlier, we have options that if you would like, we can handle your posting for you so that you can focus on completely just being a real estate agent. And for 1 to 2 days out of the month, you can have us basically take on your social media with you. So. Besides for the social media project, everything else is easily bookable online. If you want to talk to us about the social media project, I will be here for a little bit afterward. You guys can talk to me and I'll point you to who you need to talk to because that'll be Lennon. But for every other service that we have, our booking is insanely easy, almost effortless. If you guys have assistants or transaction coordinators, you guys have scheduling stuff for you, they can handle this as well. It's that easy. Here's our contact. I'm just gonna say who here's probably already got a photographer that they work with, anyone that they already work with. Keep this information on you, save us in your contacts as backup photographer. That way that if your current photographer is busy or just getting overwhelmed by the amount that they have to do, we can be a backup that comes in and takes on any project that you just may need done either last minute or just within the next, few days. I'll leave that up for just a little bit. Does anybody have any questions before I move on to the next bit? Must be really good at this. However, we do have, I know it says first shoot free, we've kind of had, I need to fix this, but like, it could be free if you just kind of go with the basic package. But if you go with us, we'll take $300 off your first order, so it can be a free shoot. But if you use Pro Media 24, I also got some flyers in the back with that exact same code if you guys want to take one. It also has a QR code straight to our ordering page so that you guys can get it all taken care of right then and there. Or if you guys ever need help with scheduling, you can either call our booking line, which is pretty much open 9 to 5 every day. And then you guys can always email us too, and we'll get back to you pretty much within the next couple hours. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. All right, so we took a little bit longer with our conversation on contracts, which is okay. It was an important conversation. I'm going to address the first of 3 segments for our training today because I can knock that out in 5 minutes. So if you've got 5 minutes, bear with me. We're going to talk about using reviews to build trust. And then we will add in online presence and leverage your success stories to our team meeting 2 weeks from today. So in addition to having awards, we'll get through those 2 training topics. So reviews. Who here has reviews about themselves as a realtor somewhere online? Pretty much got nowhere to go but up from here, guys. So good news. There was an agent who presented at Mega Agent Camp. This was one of my favorite segments. I will have his 1-page attached to the newsletter this week. So on Monday, look for this. And he focused on online reviews. If I am going to check out a restaurant and I'm trying to figure out somewhere to go that I haven't before, I do take seriously what people in my life say. Oh, I went to this restaurant and I just loved it. You should check it out. But I'm going to be really honest. I take more seriously what I see online. And I think there's a few reasons for that. One, sometimes my friends have proven to have bad judgment. And so I can't just necessarily say I believe what they say. Two, I'm not going to like interrogate my friend if they say, oh, this restaurant was really great. I'm not going to say, well, how was the cleanliness? Well, how was the service? Well, how many times have you gone? Do you feel like it's consistently good or you just got like the one-off? What dishes should I order if I'm wanting to have a really great experience here? That would be weird. I would be a weird friend if those were the kinds of conversations I had. But when I am researching something online, I can do that sort of deep dive interrogation. How many reviews do they have? What kind of consistency is there in the reviews? If everybody is saying the same thing, everybody is having that same experience. If one person said it, maybe it was a really great night, and other than that, it's a flop. And there is just something to be said about somebody being, you know, out there and anonymous that's giving that feedback that for some reason I just take a little more seriously. So think about this in your own business. Your clients, your SOI, hopefully are doing a great job of reviewing you and telling people to work with you and saying, oh my gosh, yes, you just have to work with Kathy. She is the greatest. You're going to have a great experience. And it's important that you are building that online trust, that online proof of success, so that when Kati's friend tells her friend, you need to work with her, that friend can research Kati online so that she's not having a weird interrogation conversation with her friend and go, oh, wow, it seems like my friend was right. Not only do they love Kati, but lots of people love Kati. Okay, I'm going to give her a call. So why don't you have more reviews?
I don't even know how to set up, to be honest.
So not having it set up,
Not asking for it.
not asking for it. I think sometimes it's complicated when we're asking for it. If you don't have a Google review page set up and you ask someone to go review you on Google, they've got like 5 steps to follow to get there. That's too much. It's too much. So everyone pull out your phones real quick and go to www.reviews.com. That is a dedicated page that will take you to review this real estate agent and his team. And from the stage at Mega Agent Camp, wow, got the WW down. And at Mega Agent Camp, from the stage, this agent said, hey, so go to www.reviews.com. Do me a favor and click that star to the far right. Leave a comment if you want. And instantly, he had an auditorium full of reviews. Is it not pulling? No?
No.
I think there's no S.
Try no S. If not, I'll get the right address and send it out to everyone. Did that work? Okay, so ignore the S. That was my error. www.review.com. Click the star to the far right, leave a comment if you'd like. That was how soft and easy that pitch was. This team has over 1,600 5-star reviews on Google. One way that that they have done that is making it super easy. Another way that they have done that is the power of reciprocity. So when you have people in your database that own a business or manage a business or have anything else that you can possibly review, tell them, I'd love to leave you a 5-star review. I'd love to help you build your business. Where would you like me to do that for you? That's so great. Would you be willing to leave one for me too? Then make yours super easy. Don't put an S in there if that's not there because it makes it confusing. Make yours super easy and review more people in your life. Keep in mind, I think sometimes we don't get reviews because we get locked into, I need a review from a client when they close, and it has to be at the time they close, and I shouldn't ask them too long after they close, but I shouldn't ask them before they close. Y'all, if I show somebody a property, I'm gonna ask them to leave me a review. It does not have to only be clients that you have successfully closed with. If you show a property for someone, if you are looking at Google reviews, now if you're doing Zillow reviews, that has like more specifics about who it can be. But if you're doing Google reviews, agents can review each other. Review your fellow agents, get reviews from your agents. Ask an agent on a transaction that you have a really great amicable relationship with, and it was a great transaction, ask them to review you.
I carry this lovely thing in my wallet.
Ooh, I love
It
it.
has my review, just QR code on the back of it, so it's just like a business card, but just keep it there, just in case it's convenient to grab a review.
I love it.
Especially the closing table, I do take these, and while they're getting their docs done, I just go, would you mind leaving me a review?
I love that. Have your preferred partners review you. Your title company. Your lender. Your broker. Your team lead. Your director of first impressions. Reach out to the relationships in your life and ask them to review you. Next, what are your reviews saying? For a long time, I feel like our reviews have been more heavily weighted in focused on our listing expertise for those of us who have gotten more reviews, because it was the listing situation where we were more often competing. Now you are in a situation where buyers are absolutely going to be doing due diligence on you before you meet. And they are not only thinking about, do I want to have this person represent me? They may be in the process of deciding, do I want to have representation at all? How important is that? Reach out to every buyer you have ever worked with this week and ask them for a review. And this is a great opportunity to talk to them about, there's been some changes. I don't know if you've heard about them, but it's making it so that more buyers are doing research and looking at all of their options before they choose representation. And I actually think that's a really positive thing. I think that people are going to have better representation than they would otherwise. I want to make sure that when buyers are researching me, they can get a feel for what it actually is like working with me and why they would want to. Would you be willing to take 5 minutes and leave me a review and tell them what our experience was like? You will have a few champions in your life and in your database. Identify who those champions are. And by champions, I mean like, who can I go to and not just say, will you leave me a review? And they will. Who can I say, Lindsay, will you leave a review and will you say that I'm a really great negotiator and that you save more money than you would have if you weren't working with me? And Lindsay would say, absolutely. Hold on, I'm typing it up. Let me tell you what I've got. Do you want me to make any changes? All of you have a few people in your life that are like that. Might be your mom, that's okay. Identify those champions and tell them what is the story you want them to tell. If I am researching you online, I should be able to see that you are strong in negotiation. That should be all over your reviews. I should be able to see that you offered protection to your clients, that they felt protected. I should be able to read about the ease that you created in the transaction. And I should be able to find the results. We got the house, we made more money, we spent less money, whatever that result is that they were driving towards. That should be baked into your reviews. It's not going to be all of them. And if you are pushing absolutely everybody to tell this tale, you'll have a whole lot of people that say, oh yeah, I'll get to that on the 5th of never, and you will have no reviews. So for the general public, 5 stars, and if you want to leave a comment, that's fine. Click the star to the far right, and if you want to leave a comment, that's great. But if not, that's okay. But for those champions, make sure that you are being specific in your ask. If you give a specific ask, you'll get a specific result. Then when you have those reviews, this now makes it so that you can include in your marketing pieces, but don't take it from us. Look at my 200 5-star reviews on Google. Look at my 20 5-star reviews on Google. Don't take it from me. Listen to what my clients have to say, and you can link back to that and let them tell your story. Questions? Comments?
So this person has some system set up, so it goes to his thing for a Google review. How do we find out?
You
what
set up, so
that-
we'll have the one page in Monday's newsletter. This is him. You set up a Google review page and then you have a URL direct to it.
And those of you doing 75 hard can start this as a new list. The people that you can call and ask for reviews.
People you can call and ask for reviews. For those of you doing 75 hard, looking at you out there, Eladio Serrano, that say, oh my gosh, the one I hate on this is out of network agent referrals. Call an agent and say, hey, I'm working on my reviews and I believe in the power of reciprocity. Where can I review you? And would you be willing to review me? Review out-of-state agents. So we are on the, what's today? The 3rd of September. We're going to revisit this, the digital presence topic at team meeting on the 17th. Who is going to have more reviews on Google about them on the 17th than they do today? Okay, I love it. So everyone write down on your paper right now how many reviews you have currently.
Didn't take me very long.
All right, then the 17th, I'm gonna ask the same question. I might secret shop some of y'all. I might be checking out your reviews. So, I also will know who asked me to review them and who didn't. I am an easy freaking target here. So, I'm excited to see those reviews go up. I'm excited to talk with all of you tomorrow morning at 8:45. And, I'm excited for lunch. Let's make it a great week.
Hey, Lindsay, can I review you?
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Keep your legs.
Yeah.
Get in, get out, get out of it. It's a what?
Oh, really?
What do you think, don't leave me? I'm not leaving. Okay. I. Yeah. I need to put them out. Oh, my God.
So this is, what is it? This is a Google.
Conversation that was like this.
No.
And I was in the only conversation.
Absolutely.
I was like, one, my phone.
You're done. 5-star. 5-star. No.
So when I saw it, and I burst out laughing, she was doing the one to let her. I just had a.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And you put it like. I mean, you learn, but like.
That to me is.
And you just push it off.
Doing some good things.
I also.
Yeah.
Or the unmade database. Yeah. I know it's, I'm mixed with I should. I tried. Even stuff, but I probably getting a lot of. But even with that, I try to like, I need to be. I'm just gonna share. It's always good.
I just love it. And I don't meant to. I should go see it. First day, come home second day, and there's like. Well, I think it's not. And then you're gone till Wednesday there? We're good. I love it. Yeah. How are the boys going in school? Yeah, right on.
That's every single time. Well. And I think it's right on the calendar, it's just that. Yeah, it was gonna be a little bit longer, so we added the changes after and then. Yeah.
Do a 4-hour class. Oh, yeah, I'll play.
And then, for the newsletter on Monday, I will just be. So I sent it to you, but I sent it to you, so watch that.
Yeah, I mean, you emailed this to me for, wait, so for next week's newsletter or this week?
So for the one that comes out.
Yeah, so, and I never sent.
Okay.
So I edited it, we can say. So I'll send Monday, did, or, I mean, so.
That's still last week's initial time.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, Oh, and then I made, yes, yes, right, use my love language and. So then I don't know. So.
Probably my. Like I will tell.
Yes.
I just think super hard.
I figured it's probably like, or the gather. Hello. And I didn't think I'm not. Like, it's on your doorstep.
We have a rain report just so you know. Maybe it's light up.
And so you can have those on your. Oh my God.